going? Thanks for coming by, dish it out again. I do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I just had to let a mom know that I wouldn't be able to take her kid, and I feel really bad because I don't want to turn away any kids. If I would scoop them all up and read to them and feed them and make sure that they're happy and safe and smart. But I can't. Can't save all the kids. We have our responsibility as parents is to put the best human beings possible out into the world, right? So what I have to do what's in my kid's best interest. Teach your kids how to share. Please and thank you go a long way. Read to your kids every day, at least one book. Books are fucking small. You don't have to read a novel. It could be a picture book. It's okay. I've actually been working home hardware on the weekends lately. This one girl who started part-time, she's going into grade 12. And so she was telling me about her courses and what she has coming up. Well, first, actually, she asked me what grade I'm going into. I'm like, oh my God, you're so sweet. No, I'm 33. I'm not going back to high school. And then that happened the other day. An older man came by. He's like, now, what grade are you going into? He's like, or do you work here full time? I'm like, no, I'm a full-time mom. I work here part-time. He's like, whoa, I'm trying to send you way back to high school. You're not going that far back. I'm like, hell no, sir. So anyway, this girl was telling me that she's super excited to be taking this one class called Social Equity. I'm like, what the hell is that? Social equity, okay? She basically explains you want to make sure that there's a even, fair number across the board of ethnicities in different government branches or different departments and corporations in this. Because you want to represent social equity amongst the population and the different races that are within that population. So I get the idea, I get the concept. However, that's forcing a perfect world. It's forcing diversity. And Sean and I ran into this issue when we worked in Fort McMurray, Alberta. We worked he worked up in the oil sands. And most companies, I don't know if you're aware of this, but most companies have to try to reach certain targets to say that they've hired X amount of white employees, black employees, Asian employees. And they want to show the demographics spread across the board to show, I guess, social equity. Well, when you're looking at a job, and it can be any job, but let's use an important job. So it's an important job like, let me think, Homer Simpson. He works at a nuclear power plant. Sure, he fills their white demographic, but is he the best for the job? Not so much. You should pick the best fit for the job, best person for the job. It shouldn't matter what skin color they are. I mean, social equity, in a sense, is racism, right? And maybe that could be called reverse racism because they're trying to use it in a nice way, saying, oh, it's a positive thing that we're trying to only hire this amount of people from your skin tone. You can fucking fluff it up as much as you want. That's racist. It really is. Experience should override skin tone. Right? I mean, I could be fucking crazy, but I guess that's what keeps things spicy. Oh man, so yeah. You know what, this world is changing, but I think if we don't stand up and call bullshit on the stuff that we think is bullshit, then those changes are just gonna keep adding up to more bullshit. But yeah, man. I never want to turn to a parent and say, sorry, your kid's too shitty for me to watch. Because that's not the case. It's not the kid's fault. It really isn't. It really comes down to the parents. If your kid's not sharing properly, it's because you haven't disciplined properly. Probably. I remember when I was a kid, my first job was babysitting. When I was young, they had 3 little boys that I would watch. I would make them lunch, take them outside for a walk. They lived out in the country, so every day we were outside, fresh air, energy, food, and then we would relax and watch cartoons and stuff. So anyway, I would do that so she could get stuff done around the house. Because I understand that, having kids. Oh my God, your house is a mess. And it's always a work in progress. I remember one time these two of the boys, I think it was two of the older ones, they were fighting over this truck they both wanted to play with. But you know, they're little kids, and I mean like 5 years and younger. I'm not getting a straight answer out of them as to who's playing with it first and whose turn it is. So what do? What's the fairest way? Well, I was like a 13-year-old, I knew then. I said, okay, you know what? If you guys can't share this, nobody can play with it. So I put it up out of their reach, in sight, but out of their reach, in sight, so that they remember, damn, I can't play with that toy because I wasn't sharing it. But they can't reach it until they learn to share. After about 10-15 minutes, it worked. Those boys came up to me and said, you know what, we do want to play with that. I'll let him play with it first, and then can I play with it after? I think that must have been the oldest one, David, who said that. So I'm like, yeah, perfect, great. So, and they did that. I let them play with it, and they passed it on the next one, and they played with it, and they shared, and all was well in the world. So it isn't really that fucking hard if a 13-year-old could do it. And you know what? I'm not saying I'm like a better parent than other ones. I know parenting is fucking tough. It's the hardest job in the world, but definitely the most rewarding job in the world. That's for sure. If you do it right, if you appreciate your kids. But it's a trial and error, and it's not just trial and error like once as a set of parents, then you're good for the rest of the kids. No, each kid is trial and error because each kid is so different and so unique. So what works for one may fail and would not work for the next one. That's why when I was pregnant, oh my gosh, every woman and her mother would come up to me and say, oh, you're pregnant, and they decided to tell me their pregnancy stories and their delivery stories and their fucking horror stories of the pain and issues that they had in healing up and all this. And what's that do to you? It only leaves the pregnant woman stressed out. Don't do that to pregnant women. What's wrong with you? So thankfully I knew better while I was pregnant. I didn't get stressed out over those stories. I just kind of took them with a grain of salt. And I said, it happened to them, it may not happen to me. Each pregnancy is different. Each kid's different. Each woman's different. If you're pregnant for the first time, or if you're a parent for the first time, just remember in the back of your head, all those other parents can shut the fuck up. Because their story is not your story, and your story is not their story. It's all going to be different. The best we could do is like, hey, this worked for me. It might work for you. Good luck. I remember when I was a kid, my sister and I were arguing about something. Don't know what it was, doesn't matter. 'Cause, you know, stupid little tantrums that little girls have. My dad told us to knock it off. Stop fighting. We kept going. We kept fighting and bickering and arguing, and I don't even know what it was over. So again, my dad, knock it off, stop fighting. Well, we did knock it off. We kept fighting. My dad had enough. He comes up to us, grabs each of our heads, and clunk, clunks us together. God damn it. That hurt my head. Made me shut up, though. Same with my sister. She learned to shut the fuck up, too. And you choose your battles, too. That's another thing, man. Well, that woman never wrote back. She's probably pissed at me. I don't think it mattered what I said. If you turn around, you're being told that, you know, someone's not going to watch your kid, you're going to be pissed no matter what they say, no matter what the reason is. At least I can say I was honest, you know? At the end of the day, if you realize, you know what, they're not going to like what I say either way, I might as well just be honest about it. Save yourself the hassle of guilt and lying and all the issues that come with that. Because I feel like lying, like, tarnishes your soul.